I'm Alex Conley with the Yakima Basin Fish and Wildlife Recovery Board, and we're here on the Natchez River today, but the board is an organization that brings together local government, city, county, and the Yakima Nation from Benton County, Yakima County, and Kittitas County, the whole Yakima Basin. And our goal is really to bring local partners into salmon recovery, working with all the different state and federal salmon recovery programs so that we can see salmon recovery done in a way that brings our fish back and does it in a way that our local communities can get excited about and support. Not a top-handed program, but something people have really bought into. We don't actually do the projects. We're helping our partners in the local areas connect with the funding from Olympia and helping them make sure they're doing projects that are scientifically sound. We have a technical committee that is in the middle of evaluating them for their biological merits, but also we have a citizens committee saying, does this fit in the world we work with? Can this be done in a way that doesn't harm other local interests? Is it going to benefit recreation, or is it going to close things off? Is it going to affect ag in either positive or negative ways? So we try and really bring those local concerns into ranking those projects, but we're only going to fund the ones that do a lot of good for salmon and have a lot of local support. So that's one chunk of what we do, called the Lead Entity Program. The other big program we have is our recovery program. And the thing about salmon, by the time that a salmon reaches this rapid on the Natchez River, it's come 400 to 500 miles from the ocean, up the Columbia River, past the dams, past all the fishermen, past the irrigation dams in the Yakima River, and then its young are headed upstream, and there are so many different factors that affect how well they do that it can be really hard to know which projects to do. If the problem's getting them back up the river, doing a lot of work where they spawn way up high may not give you immediate benefit, or vice versa. So the recovery planning is where we've worked with biologists and other technical experts, and also all our local partners, to say, what do we know about these different fish? And we're focused really on steelhead and bull trout, because those are the ones that have been doing worse, and because of that are on the Federal Endangered Species Act. So the goal is to figure out what do we need to do to get them recovered enough they don't need to be on the Federal Endangered Species Act. That means more fish for people that care about fish, whether you want to catch it or whether you want to go see it spawn. But it also means less burden and regulation associated with the Endangered Species Act for local governments, for everyone else. So that shared goal of let's get these fish back to a strong enough state we can get them off of that list. Our recovery program is building the plans to say, how do we do that? What do we need to do? What goals do we need to hit? So we wrote those, most of them a decade ago, but we're constantly working on updating them, and most importantly saying, hey, we said that it was really important to work on floodplain restoration in this chunk of the Natchez. Well, are we doing it? Who's going to do the next project? What's the next priority project? So it's always trying to work with partners to say, what are the most important things to do? How do we help you find funding, build the political support for a project? So that's our recovery program. And you can see where once we've identified something as a priority, it often shows up in our Lead Entity Program looking for grant money, but they're two separate programs. And we also do a lot of outreach, both with the general public, hopefully like all of you sitting there watching this video, but also with the people that are setting policies for our salmon recovery programs in Olympia, down in Portland for a lot of the federal agencies, or working with our local state agency folks.